Greetings, salutations to the Archetypal News Network community, listeners, watchers, and faculty, and everyone involved in this incredible project. I'm so sorry I could not be there for the live birth celebration of ANN, but I was certainly there in spirit as I was thinking of everyone and participating in that beautiful new moon experience this past Saturday. I'm going to introduce myself very briefly, just to stay in line with all of my fellow anchors and faculty. Um, and I'm just going to tell you a little bit about myself. My name is Chris McNulty. I use he, him, and his pronouns. And I am an astrologer, a writer, an educator, a knitter, and an explorer living in Key West, Florida. I recently launched my own practice, my own counseling astrology practice, the Hearth and the Herald Astrology. And I have been studying astrology on and off for about a decade. My journey into discovering astrology was pretty long and slow. I was originally attracted to the philosophy, cosmology, and consciousness program in San Francisco, where I was initially introduced to the archetypal astrological worldview by reading Richard Tarnas's first book, The Passion of the Western Mind. And I was so taken by the beautiful story that he wove together about the Western intellectual and spiritual trajectory that I was inspired to study at the program that he created. That's where I met Becca and Max. And I was slow to the astrological worldview. I wasn't that interested in studying astrology. I was more interested in studying philosophy, the history and philosophy of science, consciousness studies, because I'm really intrigued and inspired by a project about re-enchanting the world that we live in. And it was in the course of my studies that I started having conversations with folks who were interested in astrology. I started learning the language. I started learning the archetypes, and I really dug into my official studies in 2015 when I studied with Jessica DeRuzza of the Trust Psyche School. And I've continued my studies with her. And just recently, in the past year, I started studying Hellenistic astrology with Achyuta Bhava at the Nightlight Astrology School. Similar to Dulcie, but I think our paths are reversed. And I've been seeing clients since September, meeting with folks one-on-one, looking at their charts, looking at their transits, having conversations about how best to work with the innate dynamics that were instilled in them at their birth, as well as the co-creative ways in which they can work with the transits that they are going through now, in the past, or in the future. I've been doing some teacher's assistance work for Rebecca Gordon, who's an astrologer in New York City, who's had an astrology school for 15 years. And I've also been doing some just regular virtual assistant work with her. And I recently just gave my first talk for any type of astrological association this past February by giving a talk for Fresh Voices in Astrology on Goethe's color theory, Johann Wolfgang von Goethe's color theory, and the zodiac. So I'm very excited to be stepping out more and more and more with my astrology, and moving it from a personal study and something that I worked with friends and family on and looked at, just charts here and there, and moving into a more external, public, and professional mode as an astrologer. And I'm so excited to do so with such an incredible, creative, kind, intellectual, and enchanting group of people. So I will be giving Planet Talk episodes on Wednesdays, and I am so excited to see what happens. Thank you so much to Ren for putting this entire project together and for um, really uh, approaching me with open arms to be a part of this project. And thank you to everyone involved. So onward and upward.